You think the most dangerous man is the loud one, the violent one, the one everybody fears on sight. But the truth is, the most dangerous man is the one who suffered in silence, faced himself in the dark, and came back disciplined. You think pain broke you. It didn't. It introduced you to the version of yourself that comfort was keeping weak. If you need truth in your ear more than you need entertainment in your feed, subscribe now, because you do not rise by hearing what soothes you. You rise by hearing what corrects you. You rise by being reminded of what you already know, but keep abandoning the moment life gets heavy. Some days you do not need motivation. You need memory. You need someone to look you in the face and say, no, do not go back to being the man who betrayed himself just because being honest hurts. The man who healed alone is dangerous for a reason, not because he wants revenge, not because he needs attention, not because he walks around trying to prove something. He is dangerous because he is no longer driven by panic. He is no longer controlled by approval. He is no longer available for the games that once ruled him. And here's what it really means to heal alone. It means you stopped begging the world to explain your pain and started taking responsibility for what your pain was making you become. That is the part people miss. They think healing is soft. They think healing is candles, quotes, distance, time, and finally finding the right person to make them feel safe again. But healing is much harsher than that. Healing is seeing your own patterns with no audience. Healing is admitting that some of your suffering came from what was done to you, but some of it came from what you kept allowing. Healing is recognizing that your heartbreak did not just come from being abandoned by others. It came from abandoning your standards, abandoning your instincts, abandoning your self-respect, then acting surprised when chaos entered through the door you kept holding open. That's called self-betrayal. And self-betrayal hurts more than rejection ever will. Because rejection says someone else did not choose you. Self-betrayal says you did not choose you. Read that again in your spirit. Most men are not destroyed by one betrayal. They are destroyed by the weak habits that betrayal exposes. The need to chase, the need to explain, the need to win people back, the need to be understood by those who already showed they were committed to misunderstanding them. You call it loyalty, you call it love, you call it patience. Sometimes it is, but a lot of the time, it is fear dressed up as virtue. It is attachment pretending to be depth. It is your unhealed wound trying to earn what should have been given freely. That's called desperation. And desperation makes a man dangerous in the worst way first. Dangerous to his peace, dangerous to his future, dangerous to his standards, dangerous to his own identity. Because when a man is desperate, he negotiates with disrespect. He tolerates confusion. He calls inconsistency potential. He keeps knocking on doors that already humiliated him. He starts performing instead of standing. He starts pleading instead of leading. He starts reacting instead of choosing. That is not strength. That is dependency with a masculine voice. So why does it happen? Because somewhere along the way, you confused being needed with being valued. You confused being chosen in moments with being respected in principle. You confused chemistry with character. And deeper than that, you were taught, directly or indirectly, that your worth had to be earned through sacrifice, through fixing, through enduring, through proving. So you became the man who overgives, overexplains, overthinks, overextends. You became useful to everybody except yourself. And the world will use a man who does not know where he ends. It will drain him. It will flatter him while emptying him. It will praise his heart while exploiting his lack of boundaries. It will call him mature because he tolerates what should have ended. It will call him strong because he carries what should have been put down. But carrying pain is not the same as mastering it. Enduring chaos is not the same as transcending it. Staying available to what degrades you is not noble. It is undirected pain. That's called a wound looking for purpose. And if you never name the wound, you will build your entire life around protecting it. You stop saying what you really think. You stop enforcing what you really feel. You stop leaving when your spirit says leave. You stop trusting your own disgust. You stop listening to your own exhaustion. You stop respecting your own no. And then one day, you wake up with a life full of people, patterns, and pressures you never truly chose. Now you are tired, but not from effort. Tired from misalignment. tired from acting strong while feeling divided, tired from showing up while half of you wants out, tired from being emotionally available to people who are spiritually unavailable to you, tired from trying to save connections that only survive when you shrink. So when the man heals alone, what changes? Everything. Because loneliness stops being an emergency. Silence stops sounding like punishment. Solitude stops feeling like evidence that you are unwanted and starts feeling like the training ground where your mind becomes yours again. You learn to sit with the ache instead of outsourcing it. You learn to face the night without grabbing your phone. You learn to survive the urge to text, explain, check, stalk, fold, beg, or perform. You learn that not every feeling deserves action. You learn that craving is not calling. You learn that missing someone is not a command to return to what broke you. That's called emotional authority. And a man with emotional authority cannot be manipulated easily because he is no longer negotiating with every feeling that passes through him. He does not obey every impulse. He does not confuse intensity with truth. He does not turn temporary loneliness into permanent mistakes. He can want and still walk away. He can care and still say no. He can feel deeply without surrendering his center. That is power, not noise, not control, not intimidation. Power is calm judgment under emotional pressure. Power is refusing to trade your future for a familiar pattern. Power is looking at what tempts you and asking, does this honor me or does this only stimulate me? Power is choosing what builds over what merely distracts. And the healed man understands something the wounded man never could. Peace is expensive. It costs access. It costs old habits. It costs weak friendships. It costs fake romance. It costs the thrill of being desired by people who are not good for you. It costs the identity you built around rescuing, proving, and enduring. It costs your excuses. It costs your story about why you have to keep tolerating what drains you. Yes, peace costs. But chaos charges interest. Every day you stay in what insults your spirit, you pay with focus. You pay with sleep. You pay with your nervous system. You pay with your edge. You pay with your mission. You pay with the version of yourself that could have been built if your energy had not been tied up surviving nonsense. This is what it costs. It costs the business you still have not started because your mind is occupied. It costs the body you could have built if your discipline was not being interrupted by emotional instability. It costs the respect of your own eyes when you keep doing what you promised yourself you were done doing. It costs time. And time is the one thing weak men spend like it renews. A healed man understands that his life is not a waiting room. He is not waiting to be chosen. He is not waiting to be rescued. He is not waiting for closure from people who never had the courage to tell the truth. He is not waiting for the world to become fair before he becomes focused. He moves. Not recklessly, not emotionally, not performatively. He moves with grounded force. He becomes selective. He becomes quieter. He becomes clearer. He stops announcing every decision and starts embodying it. His confidence no longer sounds like hype. It sounds like restraint. It sounds like standards. It sounds like a man who can leave the table the moment respect leaves the room. That is the man. The man who healed alone does not need to dominate the room because he governs himself. He does not chase attention because his purpose keeps him occupied. He does not leak energy trying to be liked because he already made peace with being misunderstood. He is not cold. He is clear. He is not bitter. He is boundaried. He is not detached from life. He is detached from what cheapens it. His presence is steady. His words are measured. His eyes are awake. His back is straight. His schedule has structure. His money has direction. His emotions have a place, but not the throne. He knows how to love, but he also knows how to leave. He knows how to build, but he also knows how to burn what no longer aligns. He is kind without becoming available for disrespect. He is open without becoming easy to access. He is grounded enough to listen, strong enough to decide, and mature enough to accept that every choice costs something. You feel it when he walks into a room, not because he demands energy, because he does not beg for it, There is no hunger leaking out of him, no invisible plea to be validated, no restless need to impress. He is there, fully, cleanly, solidly, and that makes people pay attention because most people are fragmented. Most people are half in the room and half in their fear, half in the conversation and half in their insecurity, half in the commitment and half in their escape route. But not him. He is whole enough to be still. Stillness is terrifying to people who survive by reading weakness. So, what do you do if you are tired of being the version of yourself that keeps bleeding into places that never deserved you? You get ruthless about reality. Stop calling a lack of consistency mixed signals. It is a lack of discipline or a lack of interest. Either way, stop volunteering for confusion. Stop trying to decode what disrespect has already made obvious. Stop romanticizing potential. Stop negotiating with red flags because you like the feeling. Stop reopening doors your peace had the courage to close. Stop treating your loneliness like a compass. It is not leading you, it is testing you. Now do this. Sit down and tell the truth about every area where you are out of alignment: your relationships, your habits, your body, your money, your attention, your standards. Name where you are leaking. Name where you are lying. Name where you keep choosing short-term relief over long-term self-respect. Write it. Do not soften it. Clarity first. Then cut the obvious poison. Not next month. Not after one more conversation. Now. The fake friendship. The half-love. The digital addiction. The constant checking. The emotional gambling. Cut the behavior that makes you weaker every time you repeat it. If it steals your focus, dulls your conviction, or makes you abandon your values, it goes. Then build structure so your feelings stop running your life. Wake up on time, train your body, keep promises to yourself, eat like your mind matters, work in silence, create before you consume, spend less time explaining your plan and more time executing it. Put your phone down when you are triggered. Delay reaction. Breathe. Walk. Pray if you do. Journal if you must. Lift something heavy. Get back into your body so your mind stops spiraling into fantasy. Then redirect your pain into competence. Learn a skill. Build the business. Read the hard book. Have the difficult conversation. Fix your finances. Clean your room. Clean your language. Clean your standards. Make your life harder in the ways that make it stronger, so life stops humiliating you with lessons you should have already learned. Then protect what you build. This is where most men fail. They change for a week and then hand the keys right back to distraction. No. Guard your peace like it took blood to create it, because it did. Guard your routine. Guard your mornings. Guard your attention. Guard your body from laziness, your mind from filth, your heart from cheap access. Not everybody deserves your softness. Not everybody deserves your story. Not everybody deserves another chance to stand where they once disrespected your soul. And understand this clearly. Boundaries are not punishment. That's called self-respect in action. A boundary is not you becoming cruel. A boundary is you becoming honest. A boundary says, I am not here to control you, but I am absolutely here to decide what has access to me. A boundary says, I can love you and still not permit what destroys my peace. A boundary says, my compassion does not overrule my standards. A boundary says, if being connected to you requires me to betray myself, then the connection is too expensive. Some of you are waiting to feel ready before you become disciplined. That day is not coming. Discipline is not a feeling. It is a decision repeated until your identity catches up. Some of you are waiting for confidence. Build evidence. Confidence follows evidence. Some of you are waiting for the right woman, the right break, the right season, the right mood. No. Become the right man in the wrong season. That is where respect is forged. That is where your center is built. That is where your life begins to obey your standards instead of your wounds. You do not need to become heartless. You need to become whole. There is a difference. A heartless man avoids pain by shutting down. A whole man faces pain and becomes ordered. A heartless man cannot love. A whole man loves better because he no longer loves from emptiness. A heartless man uses distance to hide. A whole man uses distance to discern. One is fear, the other is wisdom. So if you have been alone, if you have been rebuilding in private, if nobody clapped while you fought your worst habits, if nobody saw the nights you chose not to go back, not to text, not to relapse, not to fold, understand something: that private war was not wasted, that silence was not empty, that season was not punishment, it was initiation. You were learning to become trustworthy to yourself. And once a man becomes trustworthy to himself, his whole life changes. His word means something. His choices sharpen. His standards hold. His eyes stop wandering for permission. His energy stops scattering. He becomes dangerous to illusion, dangerous to manipulation, dangerous to mediocrity, dangerous to the version of himself that used to sell his future for scraps. That is why the man who healed alone is so powerful, because now he does not need the world to agree before he acts. He does not need applause before he begins. He does not need company before he becomes. He does not need closure before he moves on. He has become his own evidence. So hear this clearly. You are not behind because you had to rebuild. You are not broken because life exposed your weak points. You are not unlovable because some people only knew how to consume you. You are not too much because weak environments could not hold disciplined truth. You are not lost. You are being asked to choose yourself with more honesty than ever before. And if you do that, really do that, not in slogans, not in moods, but in behavior, in standards, in what you allow and what you refuse, then your whole identity resets. You stop asking, who is going to save me? You stop asking, who is going to finally see my worth? You stop asking, why did they do this to me? And you start asking the only question that changes a life: what does the man I claim to be do next? Then you do that again and again, quietly, cleanly, without drama, without announcement, without needing to be watched, because you are the answer, not the next relationship, not the next excuse, not the next emotional high. You, your standards, your discipline, your truth, your willingness to let the old version of you die without trying to revive him every time life gets uncomfortable. So stand up, tighten your mind, clean your habits, protect your name, respect your body, honor your word, let go of what keeps insulting your future. And if you need more truth like this, more clarity, more reminders that call the man in you forward instead of putting him back to sleep, subscribe. Not for me, for you. For the days when comfort gets loud and you need truth louder. Stay close to people, ideas, and environments that make you stronger, cleaner, and more honest. That is your tribe. That is your standard. And if you are rebuilding in silence right now, understand this: you are not alone here. You are among people who are done lying to themselves.